In this video, I'm going to show how a customer used BlueTex insulation to solve a problem in kind of a unique application. And it just goes to show you there are 1,000 different ways to use BlueTex insulation, and there's no right way or wrong way, just whatever works, and we can help you come up with a great solution. The short version of the problem is they had damaged insulation, and this was allowing warm, moist air to hit the cold metal, and that was causing condensation. First, let me give you some details, and then I'll get into the specifics of what the customer did. First of all, the customer wanted something to be attractive. They wanted to leave the purlins exposed, so it had to go up in between the purlins on the bottom of the roof deck. They had old insulation that was falling down. It was getting damaged from all the volleyballs hitting it, and it was just hanging down, getting wet and nasty. They had bald spots on the metal, and this was causing condensation. When the warm, moist air from inside the gym would hit the cold metal, they'd get condensation. They needed something durable. Obviously, volleyball is flying around. They needed something strong and durable. And finally, here's the key. They were not worried about heat gain into the building. They're in Northern California, so they really weren't looking to keep it cooler in the building. And I'll get into that here in a second. They used the BlueTex Supreme 6mm. It is foil on one side and white on the other. And quite honestly, this stuff is almost bulletproof. I encourage you to get a free sample. You can throw a baseball against it and it won't even leave a mark. So this is perfect for a volleyball gym. So they actually glued it directly to the bottom of the metal roof deck. And in this picture you can see the white part, which is where the BlueTex has already been installed, and then the bare metal kind of off to the left in the back. Now all they did is use a Gorilla Glue, the industrial adhesive, and they put a couple of beads on the bottom of the metal, and then they pressed the BlueTex, the foil side, directly onto the metal, and they cut it to fit in between the purlins. Because he wanted a super smooth finish, he did not overlap them at all. He actually butted up the pieces next to each other. And then he used our 3-inch white tape, and this is an amazing, strong, durable tape to cover those seams. So how exactly does this work? Well, basically, think of it as a koozie for a beverage can. If you just pulled a cold can out of an ice chest or a refrigerator and you put it on the table, you're going to get the warm, moist air hitting the cold metal. You're going to get condensation. When you put a koozie on it now, the warm, moist air can't get to the cold metal, and it keeps it from sweating. That's moisture in the air that condenses and into a liquid form. So basically, the bottom of the metal roof deck is the can. And the BlueTex insulation essentially acts like a koozie. You stick it on the bottom, and now the warm, moist air from inside the building can never get to the cold metal to condense. And it's just thick enough with enough R value to keep that internal surface above the dew point. And that's really all you have to do in order to eliminate condensation. So what was the end result? The customer was really happy with both the look and the functionality of the 6mm BlueTex Supreme product. Now, I mentioned earlier that they really aren't concerned too much about cooling in the building. They're in Northern California, so they really don't run air conditioning and maybe just an occasional heat to take the edge off. So they can put the foil directly on the metal. It doesn't have the airspace required in order to have a radiant barrier to reflect heat. And we've got a lot of customers in either cold or mixed climate where the radiant barrier benefit really isn't that big a deal. They're just strictly trying to eliminate condensation. So just like in a metal building, you can wrap a metal building with the BlueTex and then throw the metal directly on the side without that airspace. Now, you're going to get the moisture and condensation benefit, but you're also going to get a little bit of insulation because of the foam. Now, if you're in a hot climate like Texas or Arizona or Florida, it's probably worth it to get that airspace in there between the foil and the metal to reflect the radiant heat. So this is how you eliminate condensation in a metal building. For more information, visit BlueTexInsulation.com.